Since the onset of the pandemic, health experts have constantly reminded us to boost our immune system to fight COVID-19. But what really is our immune system? How does it work to protect the body from viruses like COVID-19 and other types of outside invaders that can harm our bodies? On the program today, we'll explain how the immune system works and its many parts. We'll also talk about practical ways to boost it. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this is MedTalk Health Talk only on CNN Philippines. The role of the immune system is to protect us from infection, but there's a lot more to it. The immune system is made up of a wide network of cells, tissues, and organs, and each play a unique role in keeping us healthy. Let's welcome Dr. Paulo Miguel Borja. He's an internal medicine specialist from the Asian Hospital and Medical Center. Also with us is Dr. Cristina Ignacio Alberto, who is a pediatrician and community doctor at Health Index Medical Clinic. We've mentioned that the immune system protects us from foreign invaders that can cause infections like viruses as well as bacteria. I'll start the discussion with Dr. Paulo. How does our immune system work? Yun lang yung simple tanong. Ano? Could you tell us more about this process?
So your immune system is a complex network of cells, tissues, and organs. Together, they help the body fight infections and other diseases. When germs such as bacteria or viruses invade your body, they attack and multiply. So this is called an infection. The infection causes the disease that makes you sick, and your immune system protects you from the disease by fighting off these germs or these invaders.
Doc Paulo, on the flip side, on the other side, what happens to a person when the immune system isn't working properly naman?
So there can be a lot of reasons why your immune system will not work properly. Of course, the more common cause is what we call an immunocompromised state. So these are individuals with conditions that would impair their immune system or their ability of their body to combat infections. So particularly those who have cancer or malignancy, they're part of those patients who have an immunocompromised state. Post-transplant patients also fall under this category. Those with certain genetic disorders fall under this as well. Those who are taking immunosuppressive medications, such as high-dose steroids, and patients with AIDS, of course, they are considered to have an immunocompromised state. More commonly for our audience, so diabetics and actually the elderly, they can also be considered to be immunocompromised. So what happens when you're immunocompromised is that your body's natural or innate ability to fight off infections is impaired. So in short, your natural defenses are low, making you more prone to infections, making you more likely to get sick. And if ever that you do get sick, you will get sick longer if you are immunocompromised.
Now that we've established the importance of having a strong and robust immune system, there are things that we may do every day that can weaken this. And it's important that our viewers know this because there are some habits that we do every day that may weaken our immune system. Doc Tina, what are some of these factors that can negatively impact our immune system?
Number one, your diet, no, and your lifestyle. It's very important. So if you're taking in, you have a poor diet, of course, that is lacking in vitamins, zinc, and essential minerals, of course, your immune system will go down. Kasi importante po yan in regulating our immune system. Lack of sunlight exposure, because sunlight is very important in regulating the immune system. Tapos yung sedentary lifestyle, no, it also contributes to the weakening of the immune system. Of course, poor hygiene can expose us to a lot of germs, and that can also decrease the immune system. Lack of sleep, that's why it is very important to get enough sleep every day. So those are some of the factors that can also weaken the immune system.
Ngayon, Doc Tina, how can what we eat, yung kinakain natin, how can that impact our body's natural defense?
If you have a micronutrient deficiency, that will decrease your immune system kasi importante po yan in regulating the immune system. Kaya we always emphasize the importance of a healthy, balanced diet. And of course, we also should avoid taking in too much junk foods kasi this can contribute to obesity and which also can cause metabolic syndrome, which can also decrease our immune system.
Doc Tina, how can we make sure that our immune system stays healthy ngayon na siyempre pandemic, maraming anxious, maraming kulang sa tulog, pero we want to still make sure that the immune system is still strong?
We recommend 7 to 8 hours of sleep for both adults and children. And of course, you have to have a fit mental health. So how do we do it? minsan meditation can work. Sometimes it's interaction with the family o kahit online lang po yan. We encourage that. And there is also pet therapy right now. So those who are pet lovers, we encourage other people to have pets with them kasi this is also part of building up a good mental health process. And of course, you have to have some set activities, especially for the families kasi mental health is also becoming a big problem even for the children and the adolescents.
Okay. Now, other infections like the flu virus or even measles can also weaken our immune system. And this is why flu vaccines and other vaccines as well are available and they are key in our protection. Doc Tina, tell us more about this, especially vaccines for preventable diseases.
Vaccines are very important in preventing many type of diseases, okay? And most of these diseases are both deadly, fatal, and can cause severe lifetime disability. So what the vaccines do is to protect us from upcoming infections, okay? So in our immune system, we have the adaptive and the innate immune system. Pag sinabi natin innate, these are inborn immunity. When we say adaptive, this helps us adapt to incoming infections. That's what our vaccines do. So vaccines help by introducing controlled amount of viruses, bacteria in our body, which can help us mount the bacteria or viruses na natural na pupunta sa katawan natin.
To protect our bodies from infection, many cells, organs, and tissues have to work together. Doc Paolo, let's briefly go over some of the different or the most important parts of the immune system para sa mga viewers natin.
So that includes your skin, which can help prevent the germs from getting into your body. Your mucous membranes, which are moist, no? Inner linings, such as your organs, body cavities, all of these are also part of your immune system, actually. White blood cells, which you usually hear from your complete blood count or your CBCs, they're actually a very important and vital part of your immune system. And other organs and tissues in the lymph system, such as your thymus, spleen, tonsils, which you thought before really didn't have any function, they're actually functioning as part of your immune system. So how does it work exactly? So your immune system defends your body against substances that it sees as harmful or foreign. So these substances are called antigens. No? So they may be germs, such as I mentioned, such as bacteria, viruses. They can be chemicals or toxins. No? And even up to a certain point, even sunburn or radiation can also be antigens as well.
When it comes to the immune system, a lot of people may think that antibodies are the key. Pero ang antibodies lang bang importante pagdating sa immune system, Doc Paolo?
The antibodies are actually the terminal or the final product from a well-working immune system. No? Before you get to produce that antibodies, like I said, it has to go through a cascade of processes, no? Before you're able to produce that final product of the antibody. The antibody acts as the final product, it acts as a memory cell. No? It gives protection for future infections. Like the term itself, memory cell. No? So once your body is able to produce antibodies or memory cells, it will be able to produce a immune response when it's exposed next time to these triggers. A lot of the major factors, like I said, would be those that would detect the antigens. So that would be your white blood cells. Those would be your other cells within your immune system. Your receptor cells. Those will be able to identify the antigen first, which is also very crucial. Identifying that something is harmful in your body is definitely key before you get to produce the antigen, before you get to trigger the cascade.
Yes, so there are a lot of different really important parts of the immune system other than antibodies. When we return, we'll talk more about the other parts that make up our immune system and why they're so important in keeping us healthy. And later on in the show, we'll give you practical tips on how you can boost it. Your health is our mission here on MedTalk Health Talk. You're watching CNN Philippines.
Anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez and welcome back to MedTalk Health Talk, your partner in healthcare. Doc Tina, let's talk about the role of the bone marrow in our immune system.
Okay, the bone marrow is where your lymphocytes, all your white cells are produced. Okay, your neutrophils, everything. So, ang bone marrow po, yan yung nasa loob ng ating mga bones. Okay, there are red bone marrow and the yellow bone marrow. Ito po tinatawag natin bulalo in Tagalog. Okay, so napaka-importante po niyan because this is where the stem cells arises. The stem cells is where all other cells arises. Yung ating mga white blood cells, ang ating red blood cells, and ating platelets. So, when we talk about infection, the most important part will be the white blood cells kasi they are the ones who fight off infections and invaders in our body.
Now, aside from that, the skin also, as mentioned earlier, is our first line of defense against infection. Doc Paolo, you touched on this earlier. No? How does it prevent germs from entering our bodies at bakit napaka-importante na alagaan natin ang ating balat?
A lot of us would just think that our skin is just one layer of skin. Actually, no. It has a lot of layers, your epidermis, dermis, and a lot of layers underneath that. No? So all of these function as part of your immune system. So you have there your other cells, no? Keratinocytes, macrophages, as I mentioned earlier, neutrophils, like I said, are there as well. No? So skin acts as a first line of defense. So skin against protecting invading organisms. So aside from being a physical barrier or that level of protection, the skin as an organ can also produce an adaptive response to protect the body against, for example, ultraviolet radiation, sunburns, which can expose or damage the skin and then let the viruses and bacteria in.
When they think of bacteria, you would usually think of harmful organisms that enter our body. Actually, we have a lot of good bacteria too, especially in our gut, in other parts of our body as well, and they're essential in keeping our immune system robust. Doc Paolo, can you explain this? Could you talk about this a little bit further?
It actually becomes sort of like a vaccine effect for the body. No? It triggers a response, first of all, with your immune system. So it can trigger antibodies that can be protective to something more serious or more damaging. Some bacteria can really be more toxic than others. No? Not all bacteria are the same. Second, these good bacteria will actually colonize or actually live inside your body. No? And that's not actually a bad thing. No, because space in your body is also limited. No? So if there's good bacteria residing in the lining of some organs, good bacteria meaning they're harmless, they're not really causing any disease, any infection, any active infection in your body, then that's actually a good thing because the bad bacteria will have will run out of places to live or colonize into as long as that good bacteria is there and as long as their colonies are intact.
Autoimmune disorders are commonly known to affect our immune system, and there are dozens of autoimmune disorders today, like rheumatoid arthritis and even type 1 diabetes. Now, Doc Tina, let's give our viewers an idea on how autoimmune disorders are and how disruptive they are to a person's immune system, and what should our viewers know about this?
Autoimmune from the word itself, meaning auto, yourself, is dysfunction of the immune system. So your antibodies, your white blood cells, instead of attacking the foreign body, it attacks itself. So the brain can be affected, the eyes, the lungs, the heart. So this is what autoimmune dysfunction is all about. So it's the body destroying its own self. So one of the more popular examples, your lupus, your rheumatoid arthritis, your HSP, and of course, very common po, diabetes is one of the autoimmune diseases. Okay? So what happens, yun nga po sinasabi natin, our own immune system destroying our own bodies.
Other conditions that may disrupt someone's immune system that is very common, especially here in the Philippines, are allergies. Now, a lot of people may suffer from allergies. Some people may not be quite sure why they have a certain response when they're exposed to certain allergens. Doc Paolo, can you explain the relationship between allergies and our immune system?
Allergic disease is one of the most common chronic health conditions globally as well. And usually it's familial or hereditary. So people with a family history of allergies have an increased risk of developing allergic diseases. No? So more common allergic diseases, that would be your allergic rhinitis, eczema, asthma is actually considered under that as well, and food allergies. No? It can range from very mild to seriously life-threatening, or what we call anaphylaxis. No? So it's best to identify triggers to your allergies or what you're allergic to. Now, for your question, in connection with the immune system, like we said, the immune system responds to foreign threats to your body. So any foreign threat that is not just for bacteria and viruses, it actually includes your allergens, allergic triggers as well. So the point is sometimes we take antihistamines to actually dampen and control, regulate your immune system again, no? Because again, these responses are heightened or exaggerated responses that can actually harm your body as well.
So when it comes to certain things like this, it's more of a control that we're trying to look for rather than cure. Now, Doc Tina, now that the vaccine rollout is focusing now on the younger population, on the younger age group, what can we say about the importance of being vaccinated when it comes to kids?
So COVID-19 vaccine is also recommended now for kids, and I advise parents to get it, lalo na po yung mga parents with children who has comorbid like diabetes, bronchial asthma. It is very preventive of severe COVID infection because right now we are seeing more cases of children getting really severe COVID infection.
Just like the rest of our body, our immune system needs proper nourishment, rest, and a healthy environment in order to stay strong. But how do we do it? Stay with us on MedTalk Health Talk, only on CNN Philippines.
O, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and this is MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines, where caring is our calling. Doc Tina, can you share with us some tips in order for our viewers to maintain a healthy immune system?
First, number one, part of healthy living is of course daily sunlight exposure, but we also have to be careful kasi nga sabi ni Dr. Paulo, excessive sunlight exposure can also be harmful to the immune system. Number two, get enough rest and sleep. Number three, eat a healthy diet. And of course, you have to have an active, healthy lifestyle. Avoid being sedentary. And of course, for some parents, it's also important to consider or to always pay importance to your mental health kasi mental health also affects our immune system. Okay, your stressors can decrease your immune response to infection.
Doc Paolo, when it comes to managing stress levels and all this, are supplements affecting our immune system, or are there more simpler ways to boost our own health?
There are a lot of antioxidant supplements that you see, and as long as they are FDA approved and has undergone clinical trials, we definitely recommend them. No? Antioxidants help in cleaning out the debris in your body. You know? So your body cells, on a cellular level, they undergo a lot of processes for it to function well. No? That includes your immune system as well. No? So there are a lot of debris in your body left behind by these processes that can actually hamper your immune system. So it's best to get rid of these debris. No? And taking antioxidants is one way of doing that, no? Whether it be exogenous or from food sources or from the dietary supplements that are available commercially. Now, when we're talking about stress, stress is actually never 100% purely psychological. A lot of people would say that stress is just in your head, and it doesn't affect your body or doesn't make you sick. Actually, that's not correct. No? Whenever you're stressed, whether it be physical or emotional, you get to have increased blood pressure, increased heart rate. You can also have gastrointestinal issues or digestive problems. No? So that can also dampen or suppress your immune system.
But Doc Paolo, what is it exactly about stress that causes all of these bad things in our body to happen? Because sometimes having a little stress is actually okay for our body. It makes us more productive, but too much of it can make it bad. What exactly is it about too much stress that causes all of these bad things to happen?
Sometimes we stress our body to a point that in forms of exercise, in forms of mental exercises, that's always good because it actually triggers your cells to undergo the processes, your metabolism, to be fixed correctly. No? However, too much stress can cause the release of the hormone corticosteroids in your body. Now, this is actually your endogenous steroids. No? And it can dampen your immune system. It can raise your heart rate. It can do a lot of damage in the other organs, no? Not just cardiac.
Now, Doc Tina, I'd like to talk about mga toxins naman. Ano yung mga guaranteed na pangpababa ng immune systems on the toxins that people take? Could certain bad habits that people do create these harmful toxins in our body?
Exposure to cigarette smoking increases the chances of autoimmune diseases. So please do not expose our children, and of course to those who are really smoking, stop or quit smoking. Okay, so there are also some we have to be very careful of what we give to our children and what we take in, because there are some food that can cause autoimmune diseases. Like there are tartrazines or food coloring and other substances in our food that can cause autoimmune diseases and cause dysregulation in our immune system. So as much as possible, we try to eat healthy, eat natural, avoid junk foods, and exposing ourselves to other substances that can harm. Even mga cleaning products, we really have to be very particular about it.
I'd like to thank our guests for joining us today, internal medicine specialist Dr. Paulo Miguel Borja and pediatrician Dr. Cristina Ignacio Alberto. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and thank you for watching MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. We'll see you again next time.
O, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa